Hello everyone, welcome to today's Daily Dose of Awesome, your 15 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education. I am Becky Graff, a mentor here inside of Elite Marketing Pro. And as you're hopping on, go ahead and drop where it is you're coming in from so I can give you a shout out. And we'll get started. So today we're going to be talking about stress. Okay, you guys, how many of you feel stressed out when you're building your business? Okay, if that's you, go ahead and drop me a 1 in the comments, okay? Hey Tim, thanks for hopping on. Because a lot of times we get stuck in this ball where we're feeling so stressed that we just can't move, right? We feel stuck and we can't get moving forward. And I'm just curious what it is that you're thinking of when you hear the word stress, okay? When you hear the word stress, what is it that comes to your mind about that word specifically, okay? Hey, Fran, thanks for hopping on. Janice, thanks. Wendy, nice to have you. Welcome from California. Adrienne, hey, hun. Jennifer Wolf, welcome from Sherwood Park. Cool, lots of ones coming in. Hey, Chuck, thanks for hopping on. Awesome, you guys. Samra, good to have you here. So you guys, Wendy, good to see you. When you're building your business online, we get hit with all sorts of stress, right? I mean, we're juggling our business, family life, other commitments. It can get kind of hectic and kind of stressful, right? And it's easy for us to constantly be looking for ways to eliminate that stress. If that's you, if you've ever looked for a way to eliminate stress, like, okay, how can I de-stress? What can I do to get rid of all this overwhelming feeling, right? If that's you, drop me a 2, okay? Alicia, thanks for hopping on. Jane, hi. Thanks for hopping on, you guys. Good to have you. Cool. Okay. Connie, good to have you. So here's the thing, you guys. No matter how hard you try, we're never going to be able to get rid of the stress in our lives, okay? It's just part of life. And the thing that we seem to forget a lot when we hear the word stress, right? We start thinking negative things like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed out to talk in public, or I'm stressed out to do my presentation. Hey, Jeffrey, thanks for hopping on. Awesome, got lots of 1s and 2s coming in. Janie from Florida, Evelyn, 2s, cool, lots of 2s coming through, awesome. Okay, so we think about stress as a negative, right? We don't want stress in our life. However, stress is not all negative. And really, stress can be a huge motivator and a huge asset to us when we're building our business and just in life in general, okay? So, hey, Mel, good to see you from Hawaii. Can't wait to see you next week in Las Vegas. Awesome to see a lot of these cool people hopping on too. Awesome. Okay, so how can you use stress as a motivational tool to propel you forward in your business? How can you use stress instead of something that we want to run and hide from and get rid of every single bit in our life? How can we reframe that so that it can actually be something that works in our favor? Okay, so to talk about that, I'm going to give you 3 tips at the end, so stick around about how you can do that specifically. But let's talk about the different kinds of stress that we encounter, because a lot of times, again, we're labeling things as like this big thundercloud of stress that we just want to run away and hide from. However, there are 3 different types. The first type is toxic stress, okay? And that is definitely something that you want to move away from. It's a constant, right? Chronic stress. There's not relief. It's not one episode and then it goes away. It's just consistent and it builds and builds and builds. And that's the type that can cause, chronic problems that we hear about all the time, right? The second one is good stress. Now, good stress can actually be beneficial because it comes in short spurts, right? And it can actually help you have more focus, more dedication. It can help you ace a test, right? Because your mind is engaged like, oh my gosh, I have this thing to do. And so it opens it up and it focuses in on that type of whatever it is that you're working on. And you actually can get more resourceful, okay? So it can provide you with motivation to get something done and help you get moving, okay? So there is good stress. Now, tolerable stress, it can a lot of times feel like that negative, toxic stress, because it comes and it happens, and maybe we have an issue that's a little bit bigger than a test happening in our lives, right? But it is something that we can actually ultimately get over. Hey, Rich and Joanna, thanks for hopping on. Becky, good to see you. Awesome, you guys. Hi, Nana, great to see you. All the way from Ghana, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you on with us today. So how is it that, like with stress, okay? When we get stressed, it means that we're engaging in change. Okay, everyone wants to grow, but nobody wants to change, right? That's the stepping out of our comfort zone, right? That's stressful for a lot of people. If that's you, drop me a 3 in the comments. If stepping out and the idea of getting uncomfortable is stressful to you, drop me a 3 in the comments. I'm curious if that's you. Alicia Holland, all the way from Tennessee. Glad to have you on. Awesome, you guys. Cool. Great to have you all here. Awesome. California. Awesome, awesome, you guys. So here's the thing. You can't, I got a lot of threes rolling in. Sherry, awesome. Cool. Yep, lots of threes coming in. So you guys, pressure is a gift. Okay, the things that we come up against in our business that are stressful and hard for us, that is really a gift, right? Because the pressure allows us to grow and to change. And it's just like a diamond, right? If you take coal and you apply a lot of pressure to it, what happens? It turns into a diamond, okay? We are no different. When we are hit with stress in our lives, it gives us the opportunity to grow and to change. And yes, it is good. Yep, absolutely. Hey, Jamel, thanks for hopping on from California. Okay, so the key to understanding and mastering stress is to using it to your advantage is to understand that stress is really less about what is happening to you, the situation itself, but more so about how you are thinking about it. What is your perception of what's going on, okay? And that is really what determines whether it stops us in our tracks because we're too stressed out to do it, or whether we allow it to propel us forward towards success, okay? If this is making sense, if you guys are getting this, drop me a 4 in the comments, okay? Yep. Richard and Joanna says, everybody wants to change, but nobody wants to get out of their comfort zone. Absolutely true, right? We are creatures of comfort. We like to stay in our nice little bubble, and we really have a lot of times, a lot of stress or fear of stepping out of that. Okay, cool. Lots of 4s coming through. Okay, so I have a question for you. If you'll drop in the comments, what are some things that you feel stress you out? What are some things that you think of in your head or tell other people that stress you out? One that I hear all the time is Facebook Live stress me out. Okay, it stresses me out. The idea of doing a Facebook Live stresses me out. If that is something, what else are some of the things that stress you out, that you feel stressed doing in your business? Maybe it's writing a blog post. Maybe the idea of sitting down and writing some words actually stresses you out. Maybe it's putting a question out into a Facebook group to get help. Maybe the idea of doing that stresses you out. Okay, what are some other things that stress you out, that you feel stress you out? Okay, I'm curious what those are. Drop them in the comments, okay? Because where these things, you might say, so Becky, lives, yep. There are a lot of people who struggle with lives, and the idea of doing a live is stressful, okay? But here's the thing, what kind of stress is that? Okay, is that something that you need to run away from and hide from? Is that something that is going to, are you going to allow to keep you stuck? Is that chronic stress? Or is it actually good stress? Is it positive stress? Is it something that is going to cause you to, for a moment, get uncomfortable, right? And then be able to break through that and step out and grow. Facebook Lives used to stress me out. Now it's preparing content. Okay, Richard and Joanna. Wendy says Facebook Lives. Yes. Yep. Asking for help. See, there's a lot of things that we get up in our own head, like, oh, I can't ask this question because somebody might think I'm stupid, or they may think it's a dumb question, or I don't want to look like I don't have all the answers. And so we pent up all of these things inside of us, and we don't want to talk about it because it stresses us out. However, is it really like the stress as we think about like chronic stress, like I need to go have a massage and I need to get this out of my life. I need to have my house all feng shuied and all zen so that I don't have any stress? Or is it something that we can reframe and say, you know what, the idea of doing this makes me uncomfortable, but I know that when I do it, that uncomfortable piece of it will end. Yep, causes you to take actions. Yep, content creation. Okay, a lot of these things are stressing you guys out. Preparing content. You like Facebook Lives, though. Awesome, Morgan. Fantastic. Okay, so what might happen if you looked at the situations and got very specific on what the cause of the stress is for you? Okay, so with Facebook Lives, let's use this as an example. What is it specifically about Facebook Lives that stresses you out? Is it hitting the play button on the camera? Is it preparing the content? Are you stressed if you have to have notes while doing a live? Okay, what is it that is stressing you out? And then evaluate that. Is it worth, the time, to get uncomfortable for a moment to grow my business? I mean, all the time on Facebook, there's a lot of changes going on. With Facebook Live specifically, it is the #1 medium that you need to be using in your business if you want to have a massive return. Okay, know, like, and trust. If you're doing ads, all of it works together with Facebook Lives. Okay, Facebook Lives make me uncomfortable. My biggest issue is that my brain blanks as soon as the camera turns on. Jennifer, I totally get you on that. When I first started doing lives, I felt very similar to that. Erin, thank you for hopping on. Appreciate it. Okay, so what we really need to do is take a look at what is causing the stress. Okay, Sherry says stumbling in front of people. Okay, I totally understand, right? We are so much in our own bubble and so worried about what other people think of us that we automatically label it as stressful. And many times when we put that label on things, this is just too stressful, or I'm stressed doing this, our mind automatically blankets that as it's stressful, right? And it kind of like moves it out. Okay, this is stressful, can't do it. It's like this impenetrable rock that we can't get through, right? This ball of stress. However, if we take a moment, like I said, and break it down and get very specific about what is it that is causing the stress, our minds open and get curious about, okay, this specific thing is causing me stress. Maybe the situation of doing Facebook Lives is stressful, but maybe it's content creation. Okay, so what might I do to get quality content? Where might I go? Who might I ask? Okay, getting curious about the specific piece that is causing the stress and situation allows you to get resourceful and moving forward. Okay, so 3 tips to using stress as a motivational tool to move you towards success, you guys. Erin, you're not weird and random. You're totally fine. Appreciate your comments. Richard says, yes, we are more concerned about what other people thinks of us. Yes, so we are in judgment of ourselves and of others. We're judging other people that they're judging us. Okay, and that really doesn't serve any purpose for anybody. It's not a positive habit that we all do at some point, because we are thinking in our heads what we're thinking that we know what they're thinking, right? And is it reasonable that we would ever know what somebody else is thinking unless we ask them? Okay, let's just keep that in your mind, you guys, as you're going through this. These fears are real, right? They feel very real to us. But if we take a moment and we look at what pieces of it we have control of and what we might be able to do to move forward, we can really get ourselves out of these stuck states where we're holding on to this stressful idea because of the judgments that we're placing on others, thinking that we know what they're thinking without asking them for feedback, right? So 3 steps to using stress as a motivational tool to propel you towards success. Tip number 1 is to acknowledge the situation, okay? Facebook Lives cause me stress, or I feel stressed out when I think about doing Facebook Lives, okay? This allows the brain to open up and shift from panic, like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed, to, okay, what can I do about this? What things can I practice? Where can I get good content, okay? And it allows you to take control of the situation, right? If you recognize and say, this is what I feel in the situation, then you're able to get curious and resourceful about it, okay? If you hide from the stress and say, it stresses me out, Facebook Live stress me out, and you kind of like push it off to the side and you keep hiding from it, that stress is going to build, right? Because it's not the first time that I should have been doing one that I didn't do, and now it's 2, and now it's 3, and then it's way too stressful now, right? It builds. It's like that big black thunder cloud that just builds and builds and builds unless we do something about it and recognize, okay, I have some concern, I'm uncomfortable with this, but you know what? Being uncomfortable is okay. I can get through this. I just need to put my action plan, my action steps into place, and I can move through this, okay? It's a slight shift in how we think about things, but it can make a massive, massive difference, okay? So number 2, you guys, is to take note of your internal self-talk. What are you telling yourself? Are you saying Facebook Live stressed me out? Are you saying I can't do content creation because it just stresses me out? What is it that you're telling yourself in your head that is causing you to stay stuck? Take note of it. Write it in a journal. Maybe text it. Sometimes I'll be, thinking about something and I'll have like, oh my gosh, I was thinking this. And I'll actually send a text to either myself or my husband, just because I'm in a place where like that was an epiphany for me that I needed to notice that in this situation, I start talking to myself in this way. Okay, take note of those things, write them down. If you've got somebody that you trust, have a conversation with them. Discuss what it is you're thinking and how you're feeling and how you're labeling things, because it's very important that you are clear on what it really is instead of just blanketing it with, I'm stressed out about X, okay? So take a look at your internal self-talk. Take a moment to just reflect on how you're talking to yourself. And then once you do that, evaluate it. Richard says, yes, we are more concerned about other things of us. Yep, as assume. Yep, assuming is never a super effective method to run your business, right? You got to get clarity. You have to get answers. You got to clarify your assumptions and make sure that you are on the same page as somebody else, right? Alignment. Okay, so number 3, you guys, is insert moments of calm in your day. We get so busy doing our video calls, doing our content creation, taking our kids to school, cooking dinner. Okay, all of the things that we have to do in our life, our schedules are jam-packed. And that can cause us to feel stressed out, right? We have a lot of stuff going on and we're constantly just moving. However, if we can insert moments of calm into our day, that allows us to kind of bring that energy down a little bit, center, and it allows you to have those moments of clarity about what's really going on, checking in with yourself, okay? Hey, Mike, thanks for hopping on. And, you could do it, depends on what works for you, right? Maybe it's deep breathing. Maybe it's taking a walk around the block. Maybe it's going up and down a flight of stairs. Maybe it's stepping outside in nature for just a couple minutes and just taking a couple deep breaths, okay? Whatever works for you, experiment with putting moments of calm into your day. I know that if you've got like a fitness watch, most of those actually have built-in moments, right, where they ping you to tell you to do deep breathing, okay? Inserting those moments of calm will make you highly effective because you're able to center and refocus on what it is you need to be doing. It helps alleviate the stress because you're not caught up in the emotions and the actions or the thoughts of what it is that you're doing. Aaron says, acknowledge the situation, take note of your internal self-talk. 3, oh, thank you so much for putting them in there. 3, insert moments of calm during our day. And then number 4 is a bonus, you guys, get specific. Okay, we are so general in the way that we work. How are you feeling? Fine. If we get very specific, or what's stressing you out, Facebook Lives, okay, well, what specifically about those are stressing you out? Okay, when you get specific and evaluate the cause of the stress, because stress is an indicator that something isn't really working, right? There's something that's not going as planned or that you're having a response to, okay? So take a moment to figure out specifically what it is. And then once you know what that is, you know what the obstacle is, right? Now you know what you might do to get creative and curious about getting over it. So it doesn't change the discomfort. It's still going to be maybe uncomfortable to do Facebook Lives, but if you know specifically what it is, then you can get resourceful around how to decrease that stress or to understand and acknowledge that, okay, this is just discomfort. This isn't stressful. It's not something to hide from. It's uncomfortable, but I know that when I get uncomfortable, that causes me to grow. Hey, Sharon, thanks for hopping on. Okay, and then break it down into specific actionable steps, right? Our overwhelm and our stress level is usually directly tied to the inability to have an action plan, right? Or we have so many things going on that we feel like we can't do it all because we haven't broken it down and given it appropriate, reasonable timelines to be completed, okay? So hope that was beneficial for you guys. Stress is unavoidable, but following these tips that I listed out before, reframing the stress as a motivating factor, okay, looking at it a little bit differently instead of just a stressful thing, maybe it's uncomfortable, and getting specific about what it is so that you can move forward, it's gonna help you stay a lot more focused. It's gonna propel you forward. When you feel like you're blocked because you're just so stressed out, it allows your mind to focus in on a solution instead of the problem. Instead of just focusing on I'm stressed, it's like I'm stressed and this is the cause, this is the root cause. So this is some steps that I might be able to take to get through that. Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate you hopping on and being on today. Join us every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for your daily dose of awesome. Look forward to seeing all of you that are going to be in Las Vegas for No Excuses. Super stoked about that, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great day, guys.